How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and I'm back, and I should be back for good as far as doing videos again. I'll try to get streaming going again in the future because I am very close to getting Blue Marvel. I'm about 4 characters away, so that should be coming soon. So I do want to stream that online, so that way I can try to get those videos uploaded. As far as my streaming for Crucible, I'm hoping to start that when the new season starts up, not the U32, because since we don't really care about U32, I probably won't stream that. But when the regular Crucible comes back, I'll try to get streaming back on those for the weekend. Now, as far as today goes, we do have the new Mutants coming, which is a Cosmic Crucible team. And as you see on here, Wolfsbane, Cannonball, and Warlock, who I actually really like Warlock as a character. And long story short, I used to use Warlock as one of my gaming names way back when I was a kid before I switched over to Desir. Now, as far as Wolfsbane goes, she is part of that new Mutants. She was in the movie, which was okay. It was Macy Williams, so she always did good. And then Cannonball, who's a very interesting character. So I'm really happy about this. They all do have the X-Men tag. Warlock is a tech character as well. As far as the reworks goes, we have Magic and we have Sunspot. So lots of charges are going to be on this team. Really curious how the kits are going to be for this. I actually don't know what's going to be included in this kit. I know in the data mines, they kind of showed this team is able to flip darkness, which is pretty interesting. So that's a whole new mechanic. So let's go ahead and check this out. Now, throughout the video, I'm going to try to throw up some PNGs of the characters, and as well as we have some animations for the team, I'll try to splice those in as well. Now, I really like the format that they're using for this new blog for the characters and everything. Let me know what you guys think, because I think it's actually really sharp, and I hope they keep doing this. So, New Mutants. Fury is recruiting fresh talent from Xavier's School for gifted youngsters to form its next elite squad, the New Mutants. This youthful team unites newcomers Cannonball, Wolfsbane, and Warlock with returning heroes Magic and Sunspot, each bringing upgraded powers and renewed purpose. Built for Cosmic Crucible, they channel teamwork and raw energy to overcome tough opponents on both offense and defense. I'm really excited for this. We need a actual defense team for Cosmic Crucible. If this actually fits that bill to where we can try to get stronger defenses and it's not full offense heavy, I'm actually all for that. The New Mutants are ready for any challenge ahead. So for Wolfsbane, she is a hero global mutant brawler, X-Men, and New Mutant. Speed of 124. That's not bad. I'm curious if this team is going to have any form of speed up, or maybe on spawn or turn meter on spawn. That would make this very good as far as being a possible plug and play character. Basic is uncaged. Attack primary target for 230% piercing. Flip all regeneration. Prolong the duration of all negative effects. That's a little bit behind my head right there. Except for ability block, stun, and trauma by 1, up to maximum of 3. So prolonging negative effects, excluding these. That would be something like offense down, defense down, disrupt, bleeds. So I'm guessing there's going to be bleeds on here. If primary target has bleed, this attack gains 50% crit chance. That's not bad. The ISO attack is going to be 190% piercing. Flip all regeneration and prolong the same type of thing that it says above, and the crit thing again. I see Striker right off the bat. Let's see if that's going to end up switching maybe over to a Raider. Special is Beast within energy cost, 8 out of 8. Very long cooldown, so that doesn't bode well. Apply 2 counter to self and all New Mutant allies. Attack all enemies for 250% piercing, plus apply 2 bleed and heal block for 2 turns. If any target has stealth, apply an additional 2 bleeds to that target and clear stealth. Bonus attack the enemy's support with the highest damage up to 125% piercing, plus prolong the duration of all negative effects, except for ability block, stun, trauma, same as the basic, up to 3. In Crucible, there's 3 New Mutant allies, so that means that one character could get subbed out and you're going to have the full kits. That's probably going to be like that for all of them. I actually prefer this. I don't like it when it's the full team, kind of like Immortal X-Men. And I think when they did 3 total characters, it did get a little bit out of hand as far as way too many plug-and-play characters they kind of throw with them. If they keep it like this, where you can have 4, and then you can still have that theorycraft throw somebody with them to really pump up the team, I think that's actually a plus. Reduce the duration of all positive effects except for stealth by 2 on all enemies. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So pretty strong as far as that goes. I don't like the long cooldown of 8 out of 8 though. Ultimate, Rise of the Lycan, energy cost 3 out of 5. Attack the primary target for 450% piercing, plus apply disrupt for 2 turns and heal block for 2 turns. Reduce the speed bar by 30%. That's a good reduction. And this is going to be turn 2 unless you have a way to get energy right on spawn. Bonus attack the most injured for 225% piercing. On kill, generate 3 special ability energy on self. So you can open with the special, use the ultimate, hopefully get a kill. That's going to get 3 energy right back into the special. That's a fairly decent cooldown, 3 out of 5. So depending how this team does on defense, if they're able to stall, you might be able to get that special off twice, which is pretty cool. Gain offense up for 2 turns, speed up for 2 turns. There's the speed up, but I kind of want this on spawn still. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. It's unavoidable, cannot be blocked. So pretty good ultimate right there. The passive is Teen Wolf. When an enemy gains stealth, apply speed up to self and all new mutant allies. So when they gain stealth, they're going to be gaining speed up. So here's who's going to be given the stealth to this team, because it wasn't. Okay, if any target has stealth, this doesn't really give stealth. So somebody's going to be given stealth as far as this goes. On self or new mutant ally crit, apply +1 bleed to all enemies with bleed up to maximum of 10. So any crit, you're going to be adding bleeds up to 10. That's a lot of bleeds. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more new mutant allies, when an enemy gains bleed, fill the speed bar by 10%, which is going to be on crit. So I see a lot of raiders on this team. Enemies cannot gain assist. Speed bar cannot be filled or reduced except for themselves, allies, or enemies. In Crucible, this character has all new mutant allies gain 100% crit chance against enemies with blind or silence. So this is interesting. Making it to where if you have a full team, you're going to get an additional benefit. I actually don't hate this because this isn't really saying that you have to use a full team, just get an additional benefit. Whereas on the special right here, how you need 3 new mutant allies. So that's actually pretty interesting how they're going to be tweaking that. So let's see who's going to be gaining stealth. Well, this one enemy gains stealth, you get the speed up. Okay, my bad. Let's see, this said when you gain stealth, you gain speed up. So this is going to really go into like Fantastic Four on defense then, because Invisible Woman gets the stealth, you're going to get speed up for new mutant allies, then you're going to start ripping them apart. So this is a Fantastic Four counter right here. A really cool concept art right here. Let's go ahead and remove my head. So here you can kind of see the texture for the long fur, the base fur, the cloth material. I really like how they're doing this type of thing on here, but then again, I'm kind of a art nerd as far as that goes. Cannonball, so 129 speed. We have a 129 speed, a 124 speed. That's really powerful right there. Hero Global Mutant Protector, so Cannonball is going to be the protector of the team. X-Men and New Mutant. The basic is Blazing Barrage. Attack the primary and adjacent for 300% damage. Apply offense down for 2 turns and slow for 2 turns. Gain +1 deflect up to a maximum of 3. ISO attack is 225% damage, 17% piercing. Offense down, slow, deflect again. They're going to make it really difficult to decide if you want to use Striker or Raiders on this team, it feels like. 7 out of 7 special. Broadside. Clear barrier on all enemies. Attack all enemies for 375% damage. Plus clear 2 random positive effects. Apply offense down for 2 turns. Okay, in Crucible, if this character has 3 new mutant allies, apply blind and trauma to all enemies. Ability block to mythic protector enemies. That's going to be Mephisto right there. Stun to non-mythic protector enemies. Apply immunity to self and all new mutant allies. You're going to gain +3 deflect up to a maximum of 5. In Crucible, an extra 300% extra focus. Unavoidable, cannot be blocked. So yeah, mythic protector is going to be Mephisto. The stun to non-mythic protectors, I think Blue Marvel is going to be non-mythic. I think he's a protector, but I don't think you can actually stun him. I'm curious who the main character is that's going to be targeting this. It's not going to be Gladiator. He is a mythic protector, but I don't think he's worthy of kind of getting that type of call out. Let me know what you guys think as far as who that's going to be kind of meant for on that one. Ultimate Blast Field 3/5. So this is going to be turn 2. Apply stun to the primary target. Attack primary adjacent 400% damage. Clear 2 random positive effects. For each deflect on this character, this attack gains plus 25% additional damage. Pretty interesting right there. For each deflect, you're going to get increased damage on there. Apply +1 offense down up to maximum of 3 to the primary and adjacent. Apply +1 slow to maximum of 3 to the primary and adjacent. Gain 5 deflect. Enemies killed cannot be revived. And it kind of just dawned on me. The stun to non-mythic protector enemies. This is a call out to Juggernaut. He's going to be a protector. He's going to be non-mythic. So yeah, this is to try to counter a cursed, I believe, is what this is going to be on here for, which I'm actually fine with that. Human Artillery passive ability. On spawn, gain 2 deflect and taunt for 2 turns. On self and new mutant ally crit, you're going to gain +1 deflect up to a maximum of 5. So yeah, you want a lot of raiders because you're going to be getting the turn meter, the bleeds, and now deflect. This is going to be a raider heavy team. When this character or a new mutant ally drops below 50% health, apply 2 deflect and safeguard for 2 turns to self and all new mutant allies. In Crucible, if this character has 3 new mutant allies, on self and new mutant ally turn, if this character's health is above 50%, gain taunt. So that's going to be like a Sasquatch level, but a little bit less because Sasquatch is on any character's turn. Gain taunt. This is going to be self or new mutant ally turn. You're going to be gaining taunt on here. Enemies with blind or silence cannot generate barrier for themselves or their allies. Support and protector enemies cannot spawn with immunity. If this character or any new mutant ally does not have defense up or minor defense up, that character gains plus 25% damage reduction. So they're going to have some form of damage reduction even if they don't have defense up, which is pretty good. And 25% resistance. For each deflect on this character, you're going to get a 5% crit chance and 10% armor. Okay, so yeah. Raider crits are going to be very, very impactful. So I'm curious what Warlock's going to be bringing to this team. Here is the concept art for Cannonball. So you can kind of see the grayscale, the colored version. There's the texture that they have for it. I find this actually really cool, so hopefully you guys do as well. All right, next up we have Warlock, 121 speed. That is not a lot of slow characters on this team. I'm gonna have to pull up to see what the speed is of Magic and Sunspot are gonna be on this team. If everybody's gonna be over 120, that's gonna be very, very cool. Hero Cosmic Tech Controller X-Men and New Mutant. So yeah, Warlock is a tech. If I recall, he's in some kind of like a cyber type of world that he kind of lived in. Then they kind of brought him out, if I remember his lore accurately from like the comics and the cartoon. He's a really quirky character. I think he's really cool. Basic arm configuration attack. Okay. Attack primary target for 300% damage plus flip 3 random positive effects. Apply stealth to all new mutant allies with 50% or less health. So there's a stealth mechanic on here. And that's to all new mutant with 50% or less. So yeah, you could end up doing like 4 characters, just keep Cannonball out there taunting. ISO attack is going to be doing the same thing, 225% damage, 17% pierce, flip 3 random positive effects, and then the stealth mechanic again. So yeah, there's a lot of good striker qualified characters for this team. But again, the Raider is so impactful to get those crits out there. So unless there's a character on here that really boosts the crit chance, you're going to be going Raider with probably at least 4 of these characters, I'm thinking, and keep like 1 striker. Special is the Bomb Copter, 2/5. If this character does not have trauma, transfer all negative effects from new mutant allies to self, flip all negative effects on self to positive effects. Attack all enemies for 360% damage, plus apply silence for 2 turns. Clear all battlefield effects on the allied side. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived, and it's going to be unavoidable. With the silence, Cannonball had something on here, I believe, with the silence mechanic. Yeah, enemies with blind or silence cannot generate barrier for themselves or their allies. So this is actually a pretty powerful ability that Warlock kind of combines with Cannonball on here. So pretty cool. Clear the battlefield effects on the allied side. That's going to help counter Odin, especially with his speed of the 121. Enemies killed cannot be revived, unavoidable on there. Ultimate's going to be turn 1 ability, the Nanite's Tank. Reduce the duration of all negative effects on self and New Mutant allies by 2. Attack all enemies for 380% damage, plus apply silence for 2 turns and trauma for 2 turns. In Crucible, this attack gains plus 50% piercing damage. In Crucible, this character has 3 New Mutant allies. Going to be flipping vulnerable, charged, and revive once to ability block. Wow, so they have vulnerable on them because of all of the Raider crits out there getting vulnerable on there. Then you're going to flip that to ability block. Charge, you're going to flip that to ability block. The Odin one's going to be difficult though because it's not a huge boost to focus on here. So if he's charged, you're not going to be flipping that charge. The revive one's going to flip that to ability block. Very, very impactful. You're also going to be flipping vulnerable, exposed, and darkness to immunity on self and all New Mutant allies. So yeah, if you end up having vulnerable on you, you're going to be getting immunity that's going to be getting flipped into that. So this is a very powerful, and this is going to be turn 1 ability that could end up doing on here. Passive, Technartine. Until this character completes a turn, enemies cannot gain offense up, and this character and New Mutant allies cannot gain stun, defense down, exposed. This is like Satana on the Accursed, how until she takes a turn, you can't really land a lot of negative effects on them. And the 121 speed is going to be slow enough they can try to take that opening barrage where they try to get the control and stun on you, and that's not going to end up landing, or even the defense down. In Crucible, on self or New Mutant ally turn, if that character does not have defense up and has any negative effects, you're going to be flipping 1 negative effect to defense up and flip all remaining negative effects to deflect. And yeah, I'm going to go all the way back to Cannonball. For each deflect on this character, he's going to get a high crit chance and armor boost on top of that taunt and deflect on here. And the crits are going to be getting the deflect as well. This is going to be a really interesting team as far as how they synergize together. I like it so far. In Crucible, if this character has 3 New Mutant allies on spawn, after all other characters on spawn effects, transfer all speed up, defense up, and offense up from enemies to self, and then spread speed up, defense up, offense up on self to all New Mutant allies. Oh my god, especially with that speed, just taking that speed off, say like Nightcrawler. That's kind of like the Vulture type of effect, how he just kind of stops the speed up and then just kind of gives it to his team. This is really, really powerful. Enemies can only gain bonus speed through positive effects as well. Wow, okay. Warlock's super important on this team. The speed of this character and each ally can only be reduced by slow also. He's the linchpin. He's the thing that's going to make this team go. Very, very impactful character. Save your tech gear for this guy. Concept art. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we have Warlock. We have the wire metal for the hair and cables. The overall body metallic textures on here. The glow effects for him as well. This is really cool. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that stuff. All right. For magic, huge stat increase for health, 460% damage, 292 armor, 239 focus, 197 resist, 223. Also remember that magic got that huge, very cool costume for the Midnight Suns game as well. So I'm going to be happy to use that on her. So the special is going to be getting updated. The basic doesn't look like it is. The special is now going to do a heal self and all New Mutant allies for 30% of this character's max health. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, plus flip immunity and regeneration. Reduce the speed bar of the primary target by 30%. Apply plus 10 charge up to maximum of 20 to self and all chargeable uncanny X-Men allies. So we don't have any chargeable characters on here besides Sunspot, but he's not uncanny X-Men. This isn't going to really factor in for anybody on this team. This attack cannot be counterattacked. The ultimate Limbo Strike. Heal the most injured New Mutant ally for 10% of this character's max health, plus clear 3 negative effects. Bury yourself and all X-Men allies for 20% of this character's max health. Clear disrupt and ability block from self and all X-Men allies. So it's going to be a clearing disrupt and ability block with this ultimate ability. Attack the primary target for 450% damage, plus drain for 25%. This attack is unavoidable, cannot be blocked. The passive, Dark Child. On spawn, bury yourself and all X-Men allies for 30% of this character's max health. When an enemy attacks an X-Men ally, gain plus 2 charge up to maximum of 20 if the ally is Colossus or Kitty Pryde, which this has nothing to do with this team. So let's go ahead and skip that. This is going to gain 3 instead on them. At end of any turn, this character is 20 or more charge. Attack the enemy with the highest damage for 500% damage. With new stats, this 500% damage is going to be pretty insane. Then lose all charge. On crit by self or New Mutant ally, here we go. Clear heal block from the most injured New Mutant ally. So another theme with crit that kind of leans into this team. And then heal that character for 5% of this character's max health. Raider is so impactful. The first time this character or New Mutant ally drops below 40% health, heal that ally for 30% of this character's max health, plus reduce the duration of disrupt by 2 on that character. Apply 2 death proof and to evade. If that character drops below 40% health again, heal that character for 15% and apply 1 death proof and 1 evade. So I wonder if this portion right here, where if it drops again for the 40%, if this is like a repeating thing, or if it's only a 2 time, like the first time it does 2 and 2, the second time it does 1 and 1, and then it's done. Also very important, 20% drain. X-Men allies gain 20% drain as well for magic. Sunspot, health 207, damage 213, armor 296, focus 160, resist 194. So specials being updated. Ability block the primary target, attack the primary and adjacent targets for 420% damage, apply slow and heal block. So add in a heal block on here. Prolong all nade effects excluding ability block, stun, and trauma. So this is going to have a prolong on there, just like Wolfsbane has. On each target by 2 up to maximum of 3. The raids doesn't really matter. Generate 1 ability energy for self and all X-Men allies. So there's going to be a ability energy that's going to be giving out on the special. This attack is unavoidable, cannot be blocked or counterattacked. The ultimate's going to be Solar Burst. For each enemy with charge, gain plus 1 charge up to maximum of 10. Attack all enemies for 600% damage. Apply offense down for 2 turns, defense down for 2 turns. In raids and Crucible, disrupt to all enemies. That's pretty nice that they added the Crucible on there for that. Clear 1 charge on each target. Generate 1 ability energy for self and all X-Men allies. So there's going to be more ability regeneration that's going to be given to the team. Also, if they're, I'm just calling it right now, if they end up putting the charges that he has to where if this team is on defense, they got all the ability energy, this is going to be very nasty on defense. In raids, generate 1 additional ability energy. Nothing for Crucible there. Passive on spawn, offense up to self and all X-Men allies. So the New Mutants are going to be having offense up on spawn. For every charge in this character, generate 1 ability energy for self and each extreme X-Men ally up to maximum of 10. But yeah, this is just going to be on himself. It's not going to be giving it to the New Mutants team. So they did end up keeping that just locked behind this team. That would have been very, very powerful if this ended up going onto the New Mutants. In raids, offense down, that doesn't matter. On turn, heal self for 3% of this character's max health per charge on this character, up to maximum of 30%. For each charge on this character, gain 5% damage. If this character has 5 or more charge, this character and all Extreme X-Men allies gain the additional damage. So they kept the damage portion to the Extreme X-Men as well. They didn't move that to the New Mutants. In raids, it doesn't matter on here. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more New Mutant allies, enemies cannot gain taunt. So it looks like Sunspot would be the first that would get subbed out. Magic being able to do the heals that she would end up doing if she gets to that 20 charges, which is going to be more difficult by herself, I think. But the heals, the drain is going to be very, very impactful for what Magic brings to the team. Sunspot's going to be kind of a niche type of use, making it to where they can't gain taunt. So if you need to get through a taunt type of character, like probably the Professor X Fantastic Four team, I'm not sure if this can beat that, but on paper, it looks like it might be able to beat that type of team. But this being right here, this would help you get through the Reed Richards, so you can try to target down the Xavier. They didn't really have a stun mechanic, like a quick turn 1 stun they could kind of throw on Xavier. So that might not end up beating the Xavier Fantastic Four. I do want to test that out to see if that is going to be a possibility on here. Overall, I'm really happy with this team. The animations look really cool. Like I said, I'm going to try to splice those in as I'm going kind of through the kits and everything on here. So you guys try to take a look to see what the animations look like. But let me know what you guys think. This team looks really good. I'm hoping they're not going to be kind of a okay-ish kind of a flop type of team that people kind of thought of Starjammers and Accursed, but that was more lower level. When you got bigger stars, they really, really ramped up. I think this might be the same way, to where once you get those huge stars and eventually diamonds on those new characters, the team's really going to shine. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.